We start tonight with Seattle City Attorney suing gun manufacturer Glock. In a civil lawsuit, the city accuses Glock of knowingly making, marketing, and selling handguns that can be converted into illegal machine guns. It's done by a device called a Glock Switch.
We've heard so much about ghost guns, but they're not the only problem in the city. Switches added to guns. We just showed you in that last tease. It's unbelievable to see these guns. They're such a problem. Federal law enforcement held a demo at a local gun range to show just how destructive they can be.
They are so concerned about switches, these cheap devices that can turn a handgun into a fully automatic weapon. They brought us here. They showed us, in fact, how these guns work. They fired the guns for us and warned us about the danger of switches.
Don't believe the hype. This is not about safety, crime, or the Glock switch. Welcome to another installment of the Connecticut Gun Bench. Today's video is brought to you by P.A.N. Firearms, LLC. P.A.N. Firearms for NRA certification and multifaceted gun training. You can reach us at 203-300-6343 or use our website at www.panfirearmsllc.com. As always, there'll be a link in the description box below. And if you like channel, like content, what I do, you can support me in the link. Everything's appreciated. Let's talk about this. And this is going to resurrect an old conversation concerning Glock, the illegal use of Glock switches, and how blue states and blue municipalities tackle the problem of crime and the use of these items. Philadelphia has now jumped on board with lawsuits against Glock because of a part that Glock does not make, Glock does not endorse, Glock does not manufacture in any way, shape, or form, are going after them because their guns are used in an illegal manner. Now, of course, we know the history of this. Chicago started this stupidity when they sued Glock for their firearms. California jumps on board, not only banning Glock switches, which are illegal, technically illegal anyway, unless you're an FFL, but went even further to ban the Glock pistols. Of course, this spread like a virus because every stupid idea starts in California and makes its way across the country. Connecticut is now jumping on board to ban the gun.
There is a new plan to tighten our state's gun laws, and officials are giving you a chance to weigh in on it this week. Governor Lamont wants to stop pistols from being turned into automatic weapons.
In fact, the public hearing is this Wednesday. Connecticut does have some of the strictest gun laws in the country, and now Governor Lamont wants to add another. Lamont is calling for a ban on certain pistols that can easily be converted into fully automatic handguns.
Not hold criminals accountable for use of this item, but ban the actual manufacturer from selling their guns in the state, and it goes on and on. Now Philadelphia jumps on board, suing Glock, claiming that they are responsible for criminal use of their firearms because of the way that they're manufactured. I've argued this before. Using an illegal machine gun has a 10-year mandatory sentence, but they will never impose it, ever. These criminals never get that sentence. You should get 10 years plus whatever else you did. If you use that firearm in a crime, you get that sentence plus the 10 years, not concurrently, one after the other. You do one, then you do the other, and you do all 10. You start holding people accountable, watch crime fall, because these blue cities and municipalities, states, they're not interested in accountability, okay? Because it's detrimental to the black and brown community to hold people accountable for their criminal behavior. That's going to be a whole nother social issue that we can address, but Philadelphia jumps on board. They're saying it's Glock's fault that criminals put illegal gun parts that they make at home in their firearms. It's Glock's fault. You got to hear this because the language in this, you just got to shake your head, but let's just jump in. The City of Philadelphia and District Attorney Larry Krasner have sued gun maker Glock, claiming that the company has substantially contributed to the gun violence epidemic in both the city and the state. The lawsuit alleges that Glock has used deceptive marketing to promote the use of switches, the small device that makes a semi-automatic handgun fully automatic. With switches, according to city officials, the guns can fire up to 1,200 rounds per minute. When has Glock ever advertised, go get this part and put it in our guns? Never. Scapegoat bullshit. But the lawsuit seeks civil penalties and a court order to stop what it calls Glock's predatory and misleading marketing practices. Wow. The city claims that Glock, though the company doesn't sell the device itself, promotes the illegal modification as fun and that devices are so closely associated with Glock's brand that many switches actually feature the company's logo because people make these things and put the Glock logo on it. That's why. Glock is not doing anything with this. But in one example from the court filings, the city points to a mass shooting at an Independence Day block party in Grays Ferris last year that killed 3 people. Police said one of the handguns used in that shooting was modified with a switch, also called an automatic sear. Okay, and what did you do with the people who were arrested for that shooting? I bet you 10 to 1, they probably already walking the streets. But hey, lawyers for the city claimed on the same day as the shooting, the company posted a video on its social media showing a Glock representative emptying a handgun's entire magazine with a single pull of the trigger, along with the caption, "The only thing more fun than a Glock is a full auto Glock," because that Glock rep was shooting a Glock 18, which is a fully automatic Glock pistol, which you can't tell, well, civilians can't buy them. And I think they're like $35,000 each. If I'm not mistaken, they're damn expensive. But he was shooting a Glock 18. He did not install an illegal part on the gun and fired it. But officials allege Glock uses social media demonstrations like those to specifically target young people, particularly young men trying to show the weapons and the illegal switches as cool. Quote, Glock through its advertisements and marketing prohibits civilian access to full automatic handguns and allows the illegal market for switches to flourish, facilitating gun violence in the city, the lawsuit claims. Oh, God, I didn't know where to start there, but in a statement Friday, Philadelphia Mayor Sherelle Parker said the gun manufacturers prioritize profit over the safety of its users and the general public, and it's time for them to be held accountable, despite the fact that Glocks have been around for decades, and this criminal use of their firearms is something that's a new phenomenon. You got to remember, a lot of these Glock switches originated from China. Then people got the actual blueprints for 3D printing them, and then it kind of took off from there. But once again, it's a 10-year sentence for using an illegal part into changing a gun into a machine gun. It's 10 years. Start imposing a sentence. But I'm going to come down here, and of course, the anti-gun people had to have their say. But Adam Skaggs with the Giffords Law Center to Prevent Gun Violence, one of the organizations representing the city in the case, said that a, quote, responsible company would have condemned the switches as illegal and deadly, but Glock instead is engaged in an extended campaign to market machine guns to the public, telling young people and other consumers that machine guns are fun, cool, and something they should have for themselves. I've never heard Glock say that. These people are liars. Let me come out. Charlatans. And once again, this is not about the Glock switch. This is not about safety, crime, or anything else. Because if it was about crime, they would hold criminals accountable. This is about taking one of the most prolific gun manufacturers in this country and put them out of business.
The point of the bill we're hearing today is to ensure that Glock takes measures so that its pistols cannot be very easily converted into submachine guns. Well, they wouldn't be able to sell them in Connecticut, and I will say that, first of all, Glock has already made certain changes to account for this issue. The problem is that they didn't do it well enough.
Period. California banning Glocks, Connecticut banning Glocks from not being sold in the state, and other entities jumping in with all kinds of lawsuits. It's all about hurting the most prolific gun manufacturer in the country. Once again, and the problem is, if you read, especially the one that they're trying to push in Connecticut, if you read the language of this bill, it's so ambiguous. The convertible pistol law. We in the gun community know that pretty much any handgun can be converted. You don't need a switch either. And that's the part that really makes it just so disturbing, because this is not about Glock in the end, because in the end it's about going after every single striker-fired pistol on the market, which is pretty dominant.
Opposition to this bill said it over and over and over again. This is a road to an all-out ban on pistols in the state of Connecticut, and we have to stop that road from starting. If the Glock manufacturing company stopped producing pistols tomorrow and they all disappeared, the individuals that want to do this would find a way to do it with a bunch of other semi-automatic pistols. And that is the concern. This legislation is not going to fix the problem.
What we're really talking about is a criminal action being committed by somebody who's already in violation of the law, and it is absolutely nothing to do with the firearm itself. At the end of the day, what this bill seeks to do is ban perhaps one of the most commonly owned pistols in Connecticut.
That's what this is about. These people are not interested in your damn safety, because if they were, they'd lock criminals up, but they don't. And that brings me back to Connecticut, which is a perfect example, where they just passed a law, I think it was last year, where you can't put anyone under the age of 14 in handcuffs.
Connecticut Governor Ned Lamont just signed a bill forbidding police from using handcuffs to restrain any child under 14. There are a few exceptions in cases where public safety is at risk or when the child poses a danger to themselves or others. The governor says the new law was supported by criminal justice and child advocates.
Sometimes the punishments do a lot more bad than good. And that's what this bill is all about, making sure that we're doing good, making sure that you get the very best opportunity in life, make sure that you get back on track.
The new law takes effect October 1st.
Unless they do something that might be a threat to public safety, well, there you go. How's that going to work out? Police responding to something and it's like a 14-year-old who's being cooperative. Oh, we're not going to put you in handcuffs, even though they may have done something heinous. You know, it's ass backwards how they do things. Instead of holding criminals accountable for their behavior, and people, I'm against these Glock switches. I think you shouldn't have one. Don't do it. If you have the licensing for it, FFL, whatever, you knock yourself out. But if you don't, why are you going to put yourself in this position? Well, criminals don't care. They don't follow the law. But the laws that they're making are only intended to harm those who follow it. This, once again, is just another junk lawsuit by another city, just piling up, because they're trying to put Glock out of business to the point where they throw their hands up and go, you know what, we're done. Now, as far as Connecticut's concerned with 5043, if they pass it, I'm of the opinion, and I hope Glock hears this, I hope they listen to what I'm saying. Don't do business with law enforcement in Connecticut. Glock, don't do any business with any law enforcement entity in Connecticut. If you want to ban the gun in the state, then no one can have one. Not even those people that protect all these lawmakers in their ivory towers, claiming that crime is down. Yeah. Glock, don't do business with law enforcement in the state. Send a message. Don't do business with California. Okay? Let me know what you think. As always, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. And as always, any statements of violence or statements that lead to violence will be removed. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you're notified the next time a video goes live. I'm going to see you on the next one. Peace.